Hello and welcome to Flux Motorsport's coverage of Round 3 of the GT1 Championship Season 2 in 2021, and today we're at the fastest road in the West. It's Willow Springs International Motorsports Park in California. The oldest permanent road course in the United States, this deceptively simplistic looking circuit is anything but. The 2.5 mile long track, unchanged in its layout since opening in 1953, has long, winding corners with tightening exits, meaning our drivers are going to have to nurse their tyres as temperatures fly through the roof. Trust me when I say this, these guys have not been looking forward to this challenge. I'm Redders, and returning from his holiday this week is McToasty, and we are now 2 races down in this championship, and with Linga Bazinga having won both events so far, what do the rest need to do in order to catch that gap up, McToasty?
Well, it's a difficult task, that's for sure. Being closer to the bottom of the standings, only 8 races in the season, so they're going to have to really step up their game here. And like you said, yeah, this track very challenging, very bumpy through the slower corners. And we had a car run wide there, eMotorsports, almost going into the pits. That's something else to watch out for. The pit entrance is right on the racing line, and it's very easy to go wide and disqualify yourself during the race.
It's not easy indeed. So as we take a look into that championship, then it is Linga Bazinga who leads the way after those 2 race wins. He has a 16-point lead over Bruce Law in 2nd place and has 23 over Little God in 3rd place, who has 48 points. So plenty of points still on offer again this evening, and of course throughout the rest of our championship as well. So if you missed what happened last time out at the Le Mans circuit in France, it was Linga Bazinga taking the victory. Little God actually led a majority of that race, but after a pit stop, a tactical pit stop to try and get himself to the front once again without needing to nurse the car, didn't quite work out for him, but he finished in 2nd place, Little God. Blank File recovered after a lap 1 incident to finish in 3rd place. Bruce Law ended up in 4th. eMotorsports was 5th, with Chris 94M Sport in 6th. Starting Bongo took 7th. Martin at 65 was in 8th. Darnell finished in 9th. And Carlin Hicks, who was our reserve in that race, finished in 10th place. So that was what happened last time out, but now we head to our 20-minute qualifying session, which we're in right now. Don't forget there is a point for pole position, so everything to play for even on the way to sorting out the grid. And then of course a 45-minute race afterwards. Can anyone stop Linga Bazinga? And as we look to the top, it is currently Bruce Law on pole position with a 1 minute 8.156, and it's one of those really difficult circuits because the corners really elongated, and basically the whole talk this past week with Toasty has been the front left tyre.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which drivers may take a cautious, more conservative approach and save the tires in the corners that are giving them trouble, and which ones are going aggressive and probably making a pit stop halfway through the race and going for that extra pace every lap.
But the question is considering just how much wear these tyres are getting, especially with the accelerated wear, surely the only option this weekend has to be a hard tyre. Will anyone risk a soft?
I don't think so. No, I don't. I think the softs will melt like room temperature Jello in the sun on this track. But even the hard tires, yeah, we'll see which drivers can stretch the hard tires towards the end. I'm looking at eMotorsports, who will probably be thinking that he's definitely one to go for the no-stop strategy in any situation.
He's a brave man. Let's give a shout out to S2N Remy, who's joining us this evening. First appearance in our GT1 Championship. Had a interesting battle in the touring cars at Imola just a few days ago, which he also took part in, and some quite well so far, so let's see how that transfers into the GT1s, currently in 12th place on the grid, a few seconds down on the pace. So what can we expect from S2N in his debut race, do you think?
I think he's got some pace in the higher downforce cars. I think I can't remember. I think I remember racing against him in an LMP2 possibly. I could be mixing things up, but I have high hopes for him nonetheless.
There's a lot of drivers that take part in Flux Motorsport, very easy to lose the count of them. And of course, if you want to be part of it as well, all you need to do is head over to our website, FluxMotorsport.com, and you'll be able to find all the information on how to become a part of our community and take your place in these championships as well. We do also have to give a few mentions as well, also to Totenkopf, who was part of our championship last year, was unable to take the first couple of rounds due to a hand injury and has decided to pull out for the rest of the season, unable to recover in time. So all the best, and we hope to see him in season 3, hopefully when his hand is recovered. And also Darnell, who took part in the opening 2 races, has moved to the reserve list as well. So still opportunities to take part in this championship, still opportunities to be had, and that's one thing I love about this circuit as well. And whenever we do these races, obviously in the week building up, I take an opportunity to have a look around, and this is a circuit that I don't really know all that well, or that too much about. So when I went out for the first time, as someone's actually going backwards there, I'm not entirely sure who that is. I think is that Little God?
Immortalis, I think.
It's it is Immortalis. A good call there. Not entirely sure how he managed to do that one, but he's got himself facing the right way round again, and currently in 6th place, just over half a second behind Bruce Law, still on pole with that 1 minute 8.1. But one of the things I absolutely love about this circuit was when I came onto it for the first time, it's one of the first rules you learn in motorsport. When you leave the pit lane, you don't cross the white line. But you have to here, as I found out as I tried to leave the pits, followed the road around to a dead end by not crossing the white line. So
I know exactly what you mean.
It's a little confusing, but something to keep an eye out for if you've liked those little quirks, as Immortalis runs a little bit wide again as he gets himself ready for another lap, as Martin actually jumps into 2nd place now, just a 10th behind Bruce Law, and that's a interesting position. He's done quite well to get himself up there. He's actually, his best qualifying result, actually taking a look at it at the moment so far this year, is only a 4th place, so this will be quite the jump as he gets that wrong and goes flying off the circuit and gets himself into the pits before any major damage is done. But 2nd place at the moment, best 4th so far. He's going to be riding high after that lap.
Yeah, that's a very nice position. Yeah, we could see here, this track doesn't have any concrete runoff. It's just straight to the sand, the desert sand, and yeah, even if you put one tire on there, the car gets quite unstable, and it's very difficult to collect after that happens.
And it is very bumpy, very old. I don't think they've actually resurfaced this track since they opened it all those decades ago, because some of the sections are very difficult to drive around. It's understeer all over the place, just courtesy of the layout of the track. So as we get to the halfway stage then in qualifying, Bruce Law currently still leading the way on that 1 minute 8.1. Martin 65 in 2nd place, just a 10th behind. Just under a further 10th behind Blankfile, who's coming out once again, is in 3rd, with Starling Bongo sat in the pits at the moment in 4th. Lil God only 2 tenths back himself in 5th as he's coming to cross the line now and stays 5th. CDN Trooper is in 6th place. Linga Bazinga, the defending champion and championship leader at the moment, only down in 7th. That's a bit of a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. He tends to be a bit quicker towards the latter half of a race, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if he would be, if he does start this far down, if he does make up quite a few places. He seems to set up his car to have it be quick in the second half of the race when everyone else is struggling.
It's qualifying's not been his friend so far this season compared to last year. He's only had a best of 4th so far as he crosses the line now and remains in 7th place. So we continue having a look. Immortalis is down in 8th place. Front row starts for him so far this season, both in 2nd. Dr. Potford in 9th place, with Murphy, who's just had a spin and now gone back to the pits, in 10th. It is Survivor in 11th. S2N Remy, who's debuting here this evening, is in 12th place, with Green Gaming in 13th and Biohazard down in 14th. So I gotta say, it's looking interesting, and I don't know about you, but I have to say, one of the things that as a driver myself, when I take part in these things, one of the things I really hate most is long winding corners that tighten on the exit as well. So a late apex and a tight exit. But this circuit has quite a few of those. It is really a challenge to get a hold of, this circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, it does have plenty. We can see turn 2 here is an example of that. Starts wide, kind of, you think it would be, it makes you think it's going to be consistent throughout, but then it tightens right at the end here, and you have to aim for a very late apex. You see I think Snarly Mongo do there, and then the next corner, turn 3, has a very big bump on the inside. You have to take a wide line, avoid that inside bump, take a late apex again. This track really is just about every corner, pretty much every corner is a late apex, as we see Martin slide over that bump again.
Well, what a fantastic lap he's just put in to go 0.02 of a second slower than Bruce Law's fastest. He's getting close. Martin definitely the one to watch this time around.
It is very, yeah, it can't get much closer than that.
I do love this circuit. They've really thought of the names of this circuit. You just go Castrol Corner as we come into this long sweeper called Rabbit's Ear, and it's fantastic. They've really thought of all the names here, and you'll see what I mean as we go along, as he just gets out of the way of Lingabazing there, I believe, as he comes to this corner that doesn't actually have a name, so we'll just call it turn 3. We're coming up to the balcony corner here. As I say, like, nice and sweeping and then really tight right on the exit, which is kind of annoying. 5 here is really awkward as we get up to Monroe Ridge along here, and then a little bit of a breather, especially what your tyres need after probably overheating, and that is going to be something that these drivers are going to have to keep an eye on as he gets through the sweeper now, does Martin. And this is what I love, right? They've gone through all these efforts to name all of these corners, and then we get to turn 9. They literally called it turn 9. They just ran out of ideas.
And it's one of the most iconic turns on the circuit. You would think there would be a nice name to go along with it.
But then again, the amount of times that I've probably called that corner something rather unnecessary and unnice, just from all the times I've run wide and had to slam on the brakes to try not to speed into the pit lane entry because I ran wide by mistake. But hey, there you go. So we've only got a few minutes left. We've got 4.5 minutes left. It is still Bruce Law leading the way, still on that 1 minute 8.156 untouched, but Martin just 0.02 of a second behind. Blank File, who's been on pole position for both our races so far, currently sits in 3rd place. Lil God has got himself up into 4th now, as Snarling Bongo is in 5th. Immortalis is in 6th. CDN Trooper down in 7th. Linka Bazinga in 8th. This is really a surprise. I know qualifying hasn't quite gone his way recently, as he moves himself up 1 place, goes back to 7th, but still would have been expecting, even though he does come on stronger in the races, still would have expected maybe a little bit more from these qualifying sessions for Linga at the moment.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's part of the group of drivers who aren't too fond of this track. There's about, I would say, a third of the drivers I've talked to say they love this track, and 2/3 say they despise it. So
I need to find these third that say that they like it, because all I've heard are the ones that don't. But then again, I suppose they make the more noise, don't they?
That's true. Even more of a surprise than Linga being down in 7th, Blankfile in 3rd in that Toyota. That is no easy feat, getting that thing around a track like this, all mid-speed and low-speed corners, and quite a few, yeah, like you said, late apex tightening corners like this one. And he just seems to be
As Martin's just gone pole. Sorry to interrupt. Martin has just gone pole on a 1:07.9. Just jumped up there right at the end. And Linga Bazinga has actually got himself up into 3rd as well. So there, Linga has got himself on the pace. He got the lap that he needed. And now Bruce Law has only got 2.5 minutes. Realistically, 1, maybe 2 opportunities to try and get that pole position back.
Yeah, it's going to be close on, cutting it close on the time, whether he can get 2 laps in, both him and Linga.
Looks like Martin, is he going to be sitting in the pits? I think he's happy with that lap time. And Blankfile, there he goes, by 1,000th of a second, takes pole position from Martin. Wow.
I said earlier, it couldn't get much closer than 2,000ths, and here we have it. 1,000th of a second between first and second.
Now we just need 2 drivers to set the same lap time.
Yeah.
Come on, someone's got to do it, haven't they? Just for the show, come on. And suddenly, they've been saving it and saving it. They've been waiting for the end of this qualifying session to set their fastest laps, and now the battle is on. Martin, I think he thought he was safe on that 1:07.9, getting under a 1:08. But by 1,000th of a second he's been beaten, and now he's got 1 lap realistically to get himself the fastest lap that he possibly can. I'm going to put you on the spot. A minute to go. Who do you think is getting that pole?
I think Bruce is going to pull out the last final lap here. I think he's going to pull it off.
You think he's going to get it? You think he's going to make 3? I was about to say 3 in a row. That's Blankfile. So easy to get confused with all these great drivers. There's far too many of them. I mean, you look at Lil God, currently 6th on the grid as Blankfile goes back into the pit, so he will settle for that 1:07.9 as Martin warms up his tyres to go for 1 last flying lap. Where is Bruce Law? There is around about 2/3 of the way through the lap right now. We'll follow him as he comes down, as a lot of drivers are preparing for laps, or just trying to stay out of the way here. Bruce Law through the final 2 corners. The sweeper, really elongated corner that leads into turn 9. It's a very tempting corner to try and carry as much speed as you possibly can, but you have to remember there is the tightening at the exit as he comes down to the line. Gets himself a little bit of a slipstream. Will it help him? It does. It gets him to pole position. 1:07.5. Blankfile is in the pits. Martin, it's up to him now. As you called it, Bruce Law, I want the lottery numbers for tomorrow, please. This is fantastic. You keep doing this every time. I don't know how you manage to do it. Martin coming through now, through turn 5 and 6. Gets him down to 7 now and down onto the back straight. A lot of drivers heading back to the pits. Martin, realistically, the last opportunity for someone to steal that pole position back from Bruce Law through the sweeper. 1 corner to go after this. That ever annoying turn 9, and I'm not going to be nice about it no matter how many times you try. And he runs wide. Is that going to cause him a problem? It does, and he goes flying off the track. It means he can't finish that lap, and that is going to pretty much be it. It got exciting at the end of that session, didn't it?
Yeah, and I'm going to run out of luck pretty soon with the predictions. I'm calling that.
Ah, absolutely brilliant. And this is just qualifying. We've still got a race to go. We've still got 45 minutes of this. So there it is then. Our qualifying session is done. It is Bruce Law that takes pole position by 3.5 tenths from Blankfile in second. Martin try as well as he may, gets himself third place. It's still a career best, though, in the GT1 Championship. Linga Bazinga, fourth place again on the grid, with Immortalis in fifth. Little God is in sixth place. Snarling Bongo starts in seventh. It's eighth for CDN Trooper. Dr. Potford is in ninth, and Survivor rounds out the top 10. It is Murphy in 11th. S2N Remy, who's joining us for first time this weekend, is in 12th. It is Green Gaming in 13th, and rounding up at the back, Biohazard is in 14th. So don't forget, of course, whilst you're here watching, to keep up to date with everything Flux Motorsport related, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you get notified of all the latest videos as they appear here on YouTube. And why not drop us a like on this video as well. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Flux Motorsport. And don't forget, you can also join our Discord server too to keep up to date with everything going on here at Flux Motorsport. And if you want to be part of our championships, all you need to do is head over to fluxmotorsport.com, sign up, and you'll be able to join our community and become part of these races in the future. So, you managed to call qualifying. Can you call the race, Motoasty?
I'm going with Linga.
You're going for 3 in a row for Linga.
I think so.
It's looking good. And Blankfile, of course, gets himself on the front row again. Not pole position, but he's still second, still on the front row. He's had a few unfortunate incidents so far this season. Brutally got disconnected with just 10 minutes to go in the opening round. And last week was leading away before a collision with Immortalis caused him to fall right to the back of the grid on the opening lap. So Blankfile, he lost pole at the start of Austria, but was able to work his way back up. How does he avoid having that situation again for a third consecutive race?
Well, he's going to have a great reaction time off the line, get into turn 1 first without any issue, and then just power on from there and really create a gap between the charging 2nd to 8th field here are gonna really have some battles going on.
As the lights are on and the lights go out, it is the start of round 3. It's Willow Springs International Motorsport, and Blankfile does get the jump at the start. Can he hang it around the outside of Bruce Law? Not quite. Bruce Law managed to hold on and remain in the lead, but now it's a long sweeping corner and gets the lead over Blankfile. Manages to get himself out of the way there. I think Murphy may have had a jump start. It looks like he's got himself a time penalty as Lil God gets himself up to 5th place ahead of Linga Bazinga. Linga had a little bit of a bad start there. He's dropped down to 6th, but oh, that's an incident for Lil God, and he's going to drop all the way down to the bottom of the field now. Drops all the way down to 11th after a little bit of contact there. A lot of drivers going off, and oh, it's that Snarling Bongo that's gone. No, I think no, it's S2N Remy. Good call there. See, this is why you're the one who has the cars, and you're able to pick them out quite easily there. So Bruce Law managing to open up a gap already to Blankfile, who's also opening up a gap to Martin in 3rd. So the top 3 remain as they were. Immortalis with another great start gets himself up to 4th as Linga Bazinga now is hounding him down in 5th place. Can he get it down into turn 1? Or is Immortalis going to try and make a move on Martin? It's a three-way battle. Absolutely lovely, but that's one of the things that's difficult about a circuit which has long sweeping corners. It's very difficult to get a move done. When the corner isn't tight, it's very difficult to be able to follow, especially around the corner with not many straights. It's going to be difficult for drivers to overtake around here, but they're going to try.
Quite an eventful start. We had a couple cars that were going sideways over the bumps, but didn't seem to be too much contact, too many collisions. So mostly clean start apart from 1 or 2 cars spinning, but no contact as I can see.
Oh, that's a bad penalty, a 20-second penalty for Murphy for that jump start. So that's pretty much ruined his race straight away, unfortunately. As Lil God starts to make his way back up after his incident on the first lap, now gets himself back up to 7th ahead of Murphy, as it were. But Murphy is trying to take a look on the inside here. Very difficult around that corner. But I love the fact that these drivers are absolutely trying to make these moves get done. Lil God, I think he's got that one clear and done. Quite a few seconds already to build up to Snarling Bongo. As he actually... oh, and Linga Bazinga has spun off! Oh, and it's gone right in the way of Lil God! And oh, that is a big crash for the championship leader, and that has opened this championship wide open. Oh, I really hope that that was a move that was out of control, because coming back onto the track like that is not good. That looked pretty bad. I'm not entirely sure how that spin came about, but that crash has really opened up the championship, but also cost a lot of damage. I think Lil God, what a battle that he's been facing after a spin around in turn 1, and now has major damage after that incident with Linga Bazinga. I think that one may have to go to the stewards, but how did you call that one?
Yeah, it looked like Linga might have lost control. Had a tire on the dirt like we were talking before, and yeah, it looked like he was maybe caught in the dirty air, went wide, and spun off the track and kind of came across. You can hold your brakes on the grass and the dirt, but it doesn't do much good. The car just kind of slides back onto the track if it's aligned that way. So yeah, unfortunate.
The defending champion Linga Bazinga has dropped out of this race, so the championship opens wide now. Bruce Law, Blank File, Immortalis are absolutely licking their lips at that after that mistake from Linga. Linga has dropped out, and that's his first retirement, not only of this season but also last season. His worst result last time in the championship was a 4th place, the one and only time he's actually been off of the podium in 2021, but he's out of this race completely. So all the opportunities that all these drivers have needed, we were talking about how do they catch the gap up. I don't think we suspected a mistake from Linga Bazinga to open that door for them.
Yeah, I maybe I shouldn't have said that my luck was going to run out on the predictions.
I no longer want your predictions for lottery numbers.
No lottery? Oh, okay.
Never mind. As Lil God finally makes his way back to the pit now, a long way behind, so it's going to be a recovery drive, or at least just get himself to the finish and get as many points as he possibly can. Of course, just for finishing, he will score points. So that's kind of the name of the game here. Stick around, make sure that you build up those points and build up that championship lead. So that is why it's... oh, as that's Snarling Bongo, and Snarling Bongo has gone around this time. He's got a few seconds at least, so it doesn't look like he'll have lost the position. In fact, he hasn't. He still remains 5th, just ahead of Dr. Potford, so doesn't lose anything from that spin other than a few seconds. And this circuit is really challenging the drivers this time, isn't it?
It really is. I think the drivers who were going for the aggressive strategy call of making one stop in the race, just making too many mistakes while pushing, try and build the gap to make that pit stop and not lose too much time.
It is very much respect the circuit, as Dr. Potford does now jump ahead of Snarling Bongo to take that 5th place. So, wow. It just happens with me and you, doesn't it? Every time that we're here, there's some sort of action, there's some sort of chaos. These opening few laps are always chaotic, but I absolutely love it.
It is. It's yeah, it's great entertainment to watch. Blank File still within 2 seconds of Bruce Law. Those two have been in many a battle with each other. We've seen it in the GT3s, multiple seasons, and yeah, they're again this race.
As things would stand at the moment, our race leader Bruce Law would take the lead of the championship with Linga Bazinga out of the way, so he's really got to be enjoying this situation, because he's had a difficult few races. He was leading in Austria before a spin dropped him all the way to the back, a brilliant climb to second place in that race, but also a climb to fourth last time out at Le Mans after being involved in the opening lap incident between eMotorsports and Blancpain. So it's been a race of recoveries so far for Bruce, but I think he's going to be enjoying it a lot more out in the front, leading the pack and keeping everyone behind.
A word from the pit lane, Linga Bazinga, after his post-retirement interview, he touched the grass and couldn't get the car off the track. I've had a similar experience with GTEs last season on this track. I had to avoid a car in front of me, and then the car went on the grass, and yeah, I couldn't do anything about it. Just lost it and right in front of another car, and similar incident, cars in the air.
Carnage all over the place, and I've got to say it is a shame, but like I say, it makes the championship a lot more interesting. This was the championship with the biggest lead of them all so far, but not anymore. Actually, it might go the other way. We'll have to see how the results pan out, but obviously Bruce Law leading the way on that now. eMotorsports gets himself up to third place now. He's a couple of seconds down on Blancpain, but there's a rivalry that has really been building so far this championship, so I'm kind of hoping he catches up, because those two have provided great racing, if maybe not entirely the cleanest, but definitely entertaining. Is Martin just hanging on a little bit there back in fourth place. Looks like Snarling Bongo has now picked up a penalty himself as well, so we'll check that out in a little while. Lilgard down in last place is a long way, unfortunately, off of S2N Remy. So looks like it's a day of just driving around the back. It's just unfortunate, wrong place, wrong time, and you've got to feel the Lilgard, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, it's difficult being in that situation. Not really being able to do anything about it. But yeah, he's sticking in there. We'll see what he can do from the position he's in now.
There's a lot of work to do, but the time doesn't look too bad. It's only the third fastest last time around. Only the leading two actually went quicker on that last lap. So looks like the damage repairs have been pretty good, and he's back up to speed and not really affected by too much damage now. So we'll just have to see if he's able to close up to those in front. Maybe there's plenty more mistakes as we've seen so far. This race has been very brutal on these drivers, so it's very possible that we'll be seeing a lot more mistakes as well in the future, as Murphy goes and does one right there for us. Perfect timing, and that's exactly what we're talking about when we talk about the rabbits here corner, is that it's so inviting. The whole thing is so inviting. Then right at the end, when you're least expecting it, there's the tightening of the corner.
Right, and I'd imagine the left front tire is beginning to overheat at this point with the temperatures, and when you're at that point in the turn and you've realized that you've gone too deep, you can't really do much about it because of the left front is really taking a beating.
It is really difficult, and I mean, even when I was just doing practice laps, it only took about 2 laps for me to absolutely heat up that tyre beyond control, and my lap times are many seconds slower than these guys, so trust me, if I can do that on a very slow lap, these guys must be absolutely screaming with these tyres right now.
Yeah, we've got about 10 minutes to go until halfway. We'll see how many drivers opt to take that pit stop.
It really is a debate, really. I know a lot of people were considering a pit stop. Obviously, some have done it already just due to damage, but I really don't know, because it's going to be really difficult, because on the one hand, you just want to nurse these tyres, because I'm sure all the drivers have gone for the hard tyre, because there's just no way that you can really be competitive on the soft tyre around this type of a circuit. But that ability of just being able to hold on to the tyre, or having to pit and just go flat out, it's really a tough choice around this circuit. I know a lot of drivers were really trying to figure out what the best way to go would be. I mean, what would you do in that situation?
I think I would. I think I would hang back and play it safe. I think I would try and stretch the hard tires. Maybe not go as hard into corners that I know are an issue on the left front, and might be maybe a couple seconds slower to lap, but I think that might be the safer option.
It looks like Snarling Bongo may have had another incident as he's dropped down to 9th now. I suppose another tactic that you'd have to consider is fuel as well. Would you fuel light knowing that you were going to make a pit stop and maybe just get a little top up to see yourself through to the end, or would you run the race load from the beginning and know that when you pit that you would have fresher tyres and they wouldn't wear as fast?
It could be a viable strategy to go several laps light on the fuel, and with the full running the full fuel load through the entire race, that does add up with the extra weight you're carrying.
We should point out that Survivor is not actually racing for position here. I believe that's Little God in last place, just trying to unlap himself at the moment. Like we say, he's been through the wars quite early on, but definitely still one of the fastest drivers out there at the moment, and just getting held up now a little behind these drivers, just trying to make his way back through the field. So it's looking like here again, it's one of those things, as we mentioned earlier, these kind of circuits, as he tries to go up the inside and Survivor does let him through in the end. It's just really difficult on these types of circuit, long sweeping corners, so it's difficult to follow behind a car through those types of corners anyway, but GT1s are quite difficult for that thing as well. And with such small straights, which have been followed by long sweeping corners anyway, it's not exactly that easy to make overtaking moves happen around here.
Yeah, as we see, Survivor seems to be catching up to Murphy a bit here, about under 5 seconds behind now.
Yeah, maybe Murphy may have had a little incident last time around, almost 3 seconds difference there between lap times, to see what it is as they cross the line this time. It's a 1:12 for Murphy, whereas Survivor does 1:12 as well. Had to let Little God through. As we get to the third way stage, 15 minutes down, half an hour to go. It is Bruce Law leading the way, still keeping that 1.5 second gap at the moment from Blank File in second place. Immortalis about a further 10 seconds behind in third, with Martin 65 right on his tail in fourth place. CDN Trooper is long way back in fifth place, with Dr. Popford just a few seconds behind in sixth. And then we find Murphy quite some way down in seventh place. Is he making a way? No, not quite. I thought he was making way for Little God, who's still unlapping himself and trying to get himself back into contention here. As Survivor actually goes off the track and spins there and loses 8th place to Snarling Bongo and will drop down further possibly. No, he's got quite a gap actually to some of the drivers behind, so not too bad. So Survivor drops down to 9th place. It is 10th place for Green Gaming at the moment. Biohazard is in 11th. S2N Remy, who's just doing his own thing at the moment in his first race in the GT1 Championship, is in 12th place. And in 13th is Little God, just making his way back up into contention here. It's really looking close for this battle now for the podium positions. We thought Immortalis might be coming towards the front two, but if anything, it looks like Martin is trying to challenge for that final podium position, and is really turned up this evening, hasn't he, Martin?
Yeah, he's had a very good result in qualifying. It looked like he had pull for a minute there, but obviously that didn't end up working out for him. But yeah, he's really bringing his A game for this week.
Survivor is now in the pits after that spin, so maybe got a little bit of damage. He comes back out, so maybe a tyre change. I'd say about a third of the way through, I suppose. Can he see himself holding on until the end as we go down into the back straight now? Heading towards the sweeper and still following. This is where it's really the most difficult to try and follow a car. You really want to build up that pace. You really want to get close, especially for an inside corner like turn 9 here. It just doesn't quite work out because it's just so fast still. But now into the slipstream. Can he make the move? He's getting a little bit closer, but again, turn 1 is not exactly like super tight as he just has a little look but can't quite get the move done. If it was a lot tighter, maybe there would be an opportunity to try and send one up the inside, but just long sweeping corners, that difficulty of trying to find the perfect place to make this pass happen.
They're coming up to the lap car Biohazard. He looks like he gets out of the way nicely.
Nicely well done there in 2 different lines, going through turn 3 and 4 here, so right at the top of the hill as Martin just gets a little bit wide out there. So easy to do in that corner as well as another
Bruce around.
It is, yes! He has! He's dropped all the way down to 4th! Oh no, Bruce, it's happened again! Leading from the front and another issue, and now he finds himself in 4th place. It's not as bad as some of the previous races, but again, it looks like it's another race of recovery.
Yeah, we've seen the same thing happen in at the Red Bull Ring in the first round of the season. He was leading comfortably and yeah, just lost the back of the car. As Martin? Was that Martin?
Yeah, and that's Martin. Martin's now spun as well, and he was really close to the back of eMotorsports, so I know he was trying to get close. Maybe a mistake of just trying to get that move done, and it's all kicking off again. Me and you have to be here every week. We have to.
Wow, yeah, Bruce inherits 3rd. I think they're really starting to struggle with the tires here. We have, it's yeah, getting towards the halfway point, and that left front might just had enough already.
Do you really? I think it might be a case that we're probably going to see everyone in for pit stops. Do you think?
Yeah. We've seen CDN. He's in 6th right now, 30 seconds back from the lead, but it seems like he's just running his own race, and I think he might be one of those drivers who are looking to stretch the tires towards the end. If I remember correctly, he did win the GTE race last season by making no stop, so that experience could pay off.
What a brave man, and actually look, makes quite a few seconds there after some incidents maybe up at the front, but Blankfire now with a nice comfortable 10-second lead, although it is coming out a little bit, but still that incident for Bruce Law, that really helped out Blankfire, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. He's got a more than a comfortable lead now, 10 seconds, and he'll be managing the tires until he has to. Oh, he'll probably stretch that first stint a bit later, pit a bit later, so that he has fresher tires than everyone else towards the end.
It's going to be interesting. If he does take the win, he still won't quite be able to get the championship lead. He'll still be behind Linga Bazinga, but obviously he'll close that gap right up. Blankfire currently in 7th place in the championship, 42 points behind Linga Bazinga, but with Linga retiring very early on in this race, the opportunity to really catch up and get this championship fight back on is there for everyone. And I've got to say, these times have really been fluctuating a lot for Blankfire and Immortalis up at the front, because only about half a lap or so ago the gap was about 13 seconds. It's now down to just under 9, so kind of a bit of an accordion lead at the moment going on. At one point it's growing by a few seconds, and then it's closing by a few seconds again.
Could just be the nature of the track. We have a couple fast sections and a couple slow sections. It could just be, like you said, an accordion effect on the timing board. But Yeah, that's
S2N Remy makes his first pit stop, and that promotes Lil God up into 12th place. Lil God no longer at the back of the field now, so when you're in a position like that, where you've had an incident early on, you've had to stop, get that damage fixed and repaired, at a circuit like this, would you try and avoid one more pit stop, see if you can get this through to the end?
Depends how early you were in the first time. I'd imagine he's still going to need a pit stop towards the end of the race, if not for fuel. Dr. Popford goes into the pits, so CDN will be passing him for 5th.
Actually, a little bit of a gap, and there it goes. And I think Dr. Popford may have just overshot his pit stop there. Just had to do a little bit of a reverse. But down into 6th, I believe Dr. Popford may have picked up a penalty as well. Yes, so Dr. Popford, some of these time penalties, I mean, we know Murphy was for the jump start in 20 seconds, but 10 seconds for Dr. Popford, 10 seconds for Snarling Bongo, and 4 for Survivor. Just taking a look down further at the bottom, 10 seconds for S2N Remy as well. So I think a lot of these drivers have just been struggling a little bit, maybe with pit entry, exits.
Yeah,
as well.
Pit entry is very difficult on this track, right on the racing line, and you have to slam on the brakes as soon as you commit to take that left into the pit lane. And yeah, most of those 10-second penalties will be speeding in the pit lane.
And can we just give a shout out to Immortalis for an absolutely perfect lap last time, a 1 minute 10 on the dot. Absolutely brilliant from him. As we do get around about halfway through our race, don't forget that tomorrow night here on Flux Motorsport at 8 PM Eastern, that's 1 AM UK time on Saturday, it is the GTE Championship that is taking place at Long Beach. What an amazing track that is. Dale Dwell leading that championship by 3 points at the moment. And then Saturday 8 PM Eastern and 1 AM Sunday UK time, it's IndyCar taking place at Long Beach as well. And next Tuesday from 8 PM UK time, 3 PM Eastern, it is touring cars taking place at the iconic Monza circuit in Italy. Pro Fubby leading that championship by 5 points, so make sure you check all of those out. And if you want all the latest information here on Flux Motorsport, make sure that you follow us on our social media. Facebook, Twitter and Instagram is at Flux Motorsport. And if you want to make sure that you get notified when all of these races go live, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon here on YouTube. And if you like what you see so far, make sure that you drop us a like on the video as well. So just under 20 minutes to go now. How are those predictions of yours going? Have you had any changes yet?
Well, yeah.
Other than chaos and carnage, which has come right.
Right. Yeah, we have seen a couple of drivers take pit stops in the middle of the race here. Green Gaming just exited the pit lane. He's down in 12th now. We'll see what he can do in that Porsche. Survivor's been doing a good job in his Porsche, out of the sister car with the yellow accents. So yeah, it's good showing from Survivor. It looked like he had a little incident between him and his quote-unquote teammate, as Bruce Law catches up pretty quickly to Immortalis down the straight there.
Oh, and Immortalis runs a little bit wide as well, so that's not going to help him, as Bruce Law is getting used to this climbing back through the field situation in these opening few races of our championship. Don't forget there are 8 rounds as well, so it's all to play for all the time. You don't want to fall too far behind, but when you get an opportunity like you've got this today, you've got to take every single opportunity that you can. I believe from his current position, Bruce Law would still be leading the championship, even with a 3rd place finish, but he'll want to get back into at least 2nd place and see if there's any way that he could be able to try and catch Blank File back up for that lead, because he'll be disappointed. He had the lead once again, but a mistake had dropped him down to 4th. He'll be maybe a little bit annoyed with himself, but he'll want to get himself as high up as he possibly can. two completely different lines as well from that final corner between Immortalis and Bruce Law. So two different ways of going about that final corner, but two still very effective ways. Is Immortalis is just managing that gap quite nicely.
Yeah, the way they were going through turn 9, I thought one of them was gonna dive into the pits, but yeah, just be different driving lines for both of them.
So Biohazard now in the pits and drops down to last place. I believe we've actually lost a driver. We're going to have to try and find out who that is now. But yes, we're down to 12 left in field as Lil actually gets himself up into 9th place. So that recovery drive doing quite well.
We do some investigative work here.
We're both trying to do it at the same time. Let's look now, and still getting very close between these two. Just a few attempts between them, whilst I leave Loctosi to try and figure out the missing driver. Bruce Law really all over the back now of Immortalis. Maybe just got turn 9 a little bit wrong-footed. Quite difficult to do, especially with the aero effect coming off these cars and the style of corners that we have at this circuit, so it'll be quite difficult. Maybe a little bit easier next week when we go to Spa-Francorchamps, the fantastic circuit in the Ardennes Forest in Belgium. Lots of straights, lots of fantastic corners, and lots of opportunities to be overtaking around there.
I think it might be Snarling Bongo.
You are right, yes it is, it's Snarling Bongo. So the roommates, as they were, both Linga Bazinga and Snarling Bongo, both drop out of this race. Snarling Bongo was 4th in the championship as well, so he would have had the opportunity to go ahead of Linga if he'd have hung around and scored enough points. So
Immortalis goes very wide.
And he does, and Bruce Law takes 2nd place there, so Immortalis goes completely off the circuit. Is that's a been behind there, and nice little jump by CDN Trooper. Was that Survivor? Yes, with another bit of a spin there. So it's all kicking off at this race again.
Yeah, some of these drivers might have been at this point thinking about that they might have had a better time pitting at the halfway point, but it's too late to do that now, unfortunately.
I was going to say, when you get to this stage, when you've only got 15 minutes left, is it something that you would try, or would you say it's too little too late to make up that lost time?
Probably the latter, too little too late at this point, but yeah, we have several drivers still haven't pit, so those left front tires must be quite worn at this point.
One of those included is the leader, Blank File, as we get to the 2/3 stage. 11 seconds clear now, almost 12 of Bruce Law, who's now got himself into that 2nd place and is going to be trying anything he can to get himself up to Blank File in these closing 15 minutes. Immortalis drops down into 3rd place now. Martin, 65, who had his own spin a little bit earlier, just a few seconds back. Immortalis. CDN Trooper pretty much on his own at the moment, 17 seconds behind Martin, but almost half a minute ahead of Dr. Potford in 5th place. Dr. Potford, who has pitted, is in 6th place. Murphy is down in 7th place. Survivor finds himself in 8th place. Lil God, who had that coming together with Link Bazinga early on in the race, had to pit to repair the damage, climbs back up to 9th at the moment. Green Gaming is in 10th place and off the track there. S2N Remy, who's debuting here in the championship this evening, is in 11th, and Biohazard, who I think is just staying out of the way of cars coming through, is in last place and 12th. So who's impressed you so far throughout this race?
I would say Martin. He's caught up to Immortalis again. I don't know if Immortalis made a mistake. I think I saw the brake lights at Immortalis in a strange place, so he might have had a spin. But yeah, Martin has been had quite a bit of pace today.
I think eMotorsports is really struggling with those tyres because I don't think he's pit, so he's got to hang on for another 13 minutes still. He's been making a lot of mistakes, but then so has many of the drivers here this evening. So do you think he can hang on to this, or do you think Martin will be able to push through and find a way into third?
Well, Martin's putting out a lot of pressure here. I think it's only a matter of time until Martellus has maybe some air taken off the back of his car because of Martin being so close, but it could be that, or the tire wear getting to him again.
It's one of those things. Martin is really looking. This is one of his best race weekends so far, as eMotorsports does run wide again at that notorious turn 9. Very difficult. If Martin can get the move done, he would be up into third place in the podium positions, and if he can hold on to it, it would be his first podium in the GT1 championship. His career best is 4th at the moment, there at the moment. So that's got to be one of those things of, does it really spur you on of a career best result just right in front of you, or does it add to that nerves of, can I get this move done?
It's a bit of both for me, and I know it's different for every driver. The best drivers out there, it only adds that little extra encouragement, and they just seem to find pace out of nowhere. Even if they have worn tires, it just ekes them out a bit more. But yeah, it looks like he's not backing down, that's for sure.
It's always one of those things that I've found when I've been racing. I don't know if you're the same, but when you're following someone, like, if you can't see anyone, you're just kind of doing your own thing. But as soon as you can see someone that's ahead that you could overtake, suddenly it just feels like you get that little bit faster, that little bit sharper, that little bit neater in your racing lines, as he tries to have a little look up the inside. He's tried that before and it hasn't worked out for him, but that's exactly that thing of just having that target in front of you that you can see, and you can see that you're catching up. It really just spurs you on that little bit further, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's that old hunter's instinct.
eMotorsports goes quite defensive actually into turn 3, and all over the back of him now is Martin. Tries to take a look at the inside. eMotorsports covers that line nicely, but goes off wide and spins. Oh, takes a little bit of a tap, but Martin does exactly what he needs, put on the pressure, and that is third place and a podium position. Can he hang on? 10 minutes to go for a career best finish for Martin.
Yeah, if Martin was 1 foot farther behind eMotorsports there, he would have been spun around, pit maneuvered. But yeah, he just made it through. The nose of eMotorsports just brushing the left side of his car. I'm sure Martin had to turn the wheel very quickly to the right and straighten it out.
It looks like Blankfile made a mistake last time out. 5 seconds Bruce Law closed down. Is he maybe suffering from some back markers? It looks like it, because now the gap is just 3 seconds. The fight for the lead is on. Bruce Law isn't out of this one just yet.
And the back markers of Dr. Podford and Murphy are battling once again. They've let Blankfile through and have resumed their battle.
So that's quite amazing to think that Murphy actually in 7th place is a lap down, but such is this circuit. It's such a struggle for these drivers, but that's what makes it so entertaining for us here on the outside watching in, as it's now 2.5 seconds. So still those 2 back markers that Bruce Law himself is going to make a way through, as it looks like Murphy is getting clear out of the way. Nicely done. So just 1 back marker now, so it's looking tasty in these last few minutes. You don't want to go away anywhere just yet.
Oh, you're right. Murphy is a lap down behind Dr. Podford, and yeah, that's 7th place and 6th place. That's, yeah, like you said, that's just a testament to the challenge of this track.
Do you think these drivers might be looking forward to Spa next week?
I think so.
much more flowing, much more nicer circuit, much more used circuit as well.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out as Bruce Law tries to close this gap down. Of course, Bruce Law will take the lead of the championship in this position, with Linga Bazinga having that crash very early on in the race, caused him to retire, pulled out, so there won't be any points for the defending champion at the moment, leading the way for the next 7.5 minutes, but he won't become the checkered flag as a 1:10.1 last time round for blank file, whereas Bruce Law 1 minute 9.9 just makes 2 tenths up, still around about that 2.5 second mark, but he'll be looking as that survivor again just getting out of the way there, so still just that 1 back marker in the way. But it's looking like an interesting battle as we come through to these final few laps. Actually closes down to about 2 seconds now.
Someone's off of turn 4 there. Couldn't quite make out who that was. Possibly Green Gaming.
See, and back mark in the middle is not actually really dropping from blank foul. It could be right on the Green Gaming. I've just seen him drop down to 11th, but yeah, the car in between. I was about to say hanging on to blank foul, but it looks like he may have slowed down as he. I thought he might have been getting out of the way there, but not quite. So Bruce Law going to have to navigate his way around. There's just 1.5 seconds difference, but this is where the problem is going to be, trying to clear this back marker as quick as it possibly can, so he can keep piling on the pressure, but that easily gets sorted for him, just as we say that. The back marker right out of the way, so now it's a clear fight, and just a second in it.
And here's the old rivalry between two curb clipper friends. Once again, Bruce Law and Linkfile. Yeah, we've seen the battle rage on between multiple seasons of GT3 races. Bruce in the tiny Janetta and Linkfile in the massive Bentley just last season. That was a true David and Goliath. But here they're in 2 similarly sized cars, and battle is just as entertaining though.
Mystic McToasty, 5 minutes to go. Blank file or Bruce Law?
Oh, I think I'm gonna go with Bruce again.
And if he does win this now, by the way, you will be Mystic McToasty for the rest of the season. So get used to that nickname. Don't forget, if you want to follow everything that we do here on Flux Motorsport, you can follow us at Flux Motorsport on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to be part of these championships, head over to fluxmotorsport.com. You'll be able to sign up and find everything you need in order to join our community. So how's the racing been going for you? I haven't been able to catch up with you for a while. How's your racing been going?
Pretty good. I mean, the GT championship, Daytona was quite good. I had a good battle with Super Crusher towards the last half of the race, and yeah, I had on vacation for the second race. I can't remember where that was, but it was here. But yeah, really looking forward to Long
I see
Beach.
how it was. I see how it was. So you didn't want to fancy this track yourself, so you just casually end up on holiday, so you didn't have to do it. I see how it is.
Yeah. I scheduled it strategically.
It's like you knew it like way in advance, and that's why you decided, Winter Springs holiday. Right. Here we go. Get that sorted.
Perfect.
It comes down again to about 1.5 seconds. It did grow to about 2.5. I think maybe a slight little bit of a I don't want to call it a mistake. It's the 1 minute 9 that he did last time around, but Bruce Law just fell back a little bit, and maybe just struggling around about that tight, twisty, narrow section near the end, and just using these more wider open sections to maybe try and close the gap a little bit with 3 minutes to go. Very difficult to see which way this one is going, but maybe Blankfile could just hold on to this. He's just got enough of a gap for the time being. He can just hold on to it. He can't rest up, he can't relax though. He's going to be pushed to the very end, and that's exactly what we love to see here at Flux Motorsport. So I suppose with a few minutes to go, who do I get to call a driver of the day? McToasty, you're here with me. Who's been your driver of the day? Oh wait, hold on a second. That is Blankfile running off wide. Oh, he's just managed to hold on, and just as we were getting excited to maybe wind down, suddenly the battle is back on. A mistake from Blankfile. He just holds on to the lead, but Bruce Law is all over the back of him. 2 minutes to go. This is not going to be easy resting for Blankfile at all.
The infamous rabbit ears struck again, and yeah, he went off wide and lost those 2 seconds of a gap there, and yeah, Bruce Law is right on him now.
Oh, this is exactly what we want. 2 minutes to go, a fight for the lead, and it really is a fight now. Bruce Law is chasing Blankfile for the win. Who will take their first win of this season? It is looking really close between them. Of course, Bruce Law wasn't part of this championship last season, but he was in the LMP2 and he was in the GT championships in season 1, won both of those. So he knows how to win, he knows how to get it done. He will be taking the lead of this championship as it stands, but can he get his first win in GT1? Or is it going to be Blankfile going for his third career win in GT1? Just a minute to go. Maybe Blankfile just had a little bit of a scare, but just opening up that gap a little bit more. Oh, that was close. That was so close.
Chat on the YouTube saying another great race. It is another great race. Bruce Law chasing down Blankfile. Looked like Blankfile opened up a little bit of a gap there. He did a 111.6 last. Oh, that was this. Oh, 109.3. Wow, that is quick.
So there you go. Just opens up that gap a bit by half a second, so we get into the final lap. So now that we're in the final lap, I know we're in this particular corner again, but fingers crossed this time I'll be able to ask who has been your driver of the day.
Well, I was going to say Martin. He's done a great job. This would be his first podium in the GT1, and yeah, I think he's driven a great race. Few mistakes, few and far between. I'll give it to Martin.
Excellent. And of course, this circuit has been catching out a load of drivers, but as we come down now the back straight, as we head through to the sweeper one last time, Bruce Law trying to distract Blankfile. I'm not sure it's going to work that far back with the flashing lights, but we get through now to turn 9, and we follow Blankfile as we head down the main straight. He had a last-minute scare, but he's just managed to hold on. Blankfile will take his first win of the championship. Season 2, his third career. Bruce Law will take second place and the lead in the GT1 championship. Martin 65 is going to cross the line for his first podium finish in GT1. Congratulations to him. Driver of the day from McToasty as well. Third place for Martin. Best career results. Immortalis coming down now for 4th place, and CDN Trooper still on the back straight, but looking good for a 5th place for him as well, and that will be an absolutely fantastic result for him, because his best result so far has only been an 8th place, so this is really going to jump him up. CDN Trooper going to finish 5th for his best career finish in the GT1 Championship, so for those that hold on and survive, it's been quite good for them.
Yeah, top 5 in this field is quite an achievement, I'd say.
And that is amazing. We only needed 5 to complete that top lap to finish it all, and that is your result. So Blankfile will take his 3rd career win here in the the 3rd career win in his GT1 championship. It's Bruce Law who is in second place, did lead for quite a way, but made a mistake which dropped him down to fourth, recovered to second. Martin 65 with his first podium in GT1 in third place. Immortalis in fourth. CDN Trooper in fifth, and to continue on, sixth place goes to Dr. Potford. It is seventh for Little God. Eighth is Murphy. Survivor is in ninth, and in 10th place it is S2N Remy. As we go a little bit further down, Biohazard is in 11th, and Green Gaming is in 12th place. So just taking a look through, I believe that the fastest lap goes to Little God. So an extra point for his recovery drive as well. So great job for him in the end. Your final thoughts, McToasty?
Yeah, what an eventful race that was. I mean, opening couple minutes and had a few offs by the drivers that just spiced it up again, and yeah, it was a great one.
Absolutely fantastic. And next weekend, we will be here. Next weekend, I'm trying to get ahead of myself. It's a bank holiday here in the UK. I'm getting excited for an extra day off work. Next Thursday, it is Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, a fantastic circuit that everybody knows. And if you don't, you'll know it soon. Tomorrow night here on Flux Motorsport at 8 p.m. Eastern in America, the GT Championship continues at Long Beach. Dale the Whale leads that championship by 3 points. That is 1 a.m. UK time Saturday morning for that one. 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UK time Sunday for the Saturday night race. Confusing, I know. IndyCar is at Long Beach, and another amazing circuit. And coming on Tuesday at 8 p.m. UK time, 3 Eastern, it is the touring cars at Monza Grand Prix circuit. Pro Fubby leads that championship by 5 points. And don't forget, whilst you're here watching, to keep up with everything Flux Motorsport related, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you get notified of all the latest videos as they appear here on YouTube. And why not drop us a like on this video as well. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Flux Motorsport. And don't forget, you can also join our Discord server too to keep up to date with everything going on here at Flux Motorsport. Until next week, I've been Redders, joined by McToasty, who's come back from his vacation to hide away from Willow Springs. We will see you next Thursday at Spa-Francorchamps. Thanks for watching.